So with my Mexican food, I like refried beans, but my husband really likes borracho beans. So today, that's what we're gonna make. So I'm gonna start with 2 cups of pinto beans that I have rinsed. And then I'm gonna cover them with about 6 cups of water. We want about 2 inches over the beans themselves. That's 4, and that's 6. I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of salt, 2 bay leaves, because they're small. If you have a big bay leaf, just use one. And a quarter of an onion, a yellow onion. And we are going to bring this to a boil. Once it starts boiling, we're going to reduce it to a simmer and let it simmer for about an hour, maybe 2, depending on how the beans open up. But first we have to bring it to a boil. So our beans are boiling. Now we're going to reduce it to a simmer. So I'm going to put it on low, cover it again, and I'm going to set a timer for an hour. I'm going to come back sporadically through and check to make sure that there's still water in there and the water has not evaporated. But we're going to need at least an hour for the beans to open up but not be mushy and not burst, but they need to be soft. So our beans have been soaking and simmering for about an hour. And if you look, you can tell they're perfectly bloomed. So now we're going to drain these, pick the onions out, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I have my other pot on medium heat, and I'm going to add 6 slices of bacon that I have chopped up. And we're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes. Now, if you want to do this in a much easier way, you can buy canned pinto beans. If you do, start here. Don't start with the where we just were. You don't have to cook them for an hour on simmer. You just have to do the bacon. And then pour your beans in. So this is going to take about 5 or 6 minutes to crisp up, and then we'll be back. Okay, so our bacon is crispy, and we're going to use the grease from it to cook our onions and garlic. I have 3 teaspoons of minced garlic and about a half of a yellow onion that I have diced. We're going to cook this for about 4 minutes or until the onions are translucent. And then we'll add more stuff. All right, so our onions are translucent. Now it's time to add sausage. So you can use ham, you can use pork sausage. I chose beef sausage because we like to limit the amount of pork we eat in our house. So it's just a cup of it chopped up. Then I have 2 tomatoes that I diced. I have a half a teaspoon of cumin, a half a teaspoon of oregano, and a half a teaspoon of paprika. 1 serrano pepper that I've diced. 2 chipotle peppers that I've diced. They're chipotle and adobo sauce. They are canned. You only need 2, so if you buy a whole can, quick note, you can put the rest in the freezer bag and freeze them for up to 6 months. And just take them out as you need them. I'm going to add a half a cup of chopped cilantro. And we're going to let all of these flavors cook and marinate for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to add the beans and the rest of the liquid. So, and then we'll be back. All right, so our mixture of spices and vegetables has been cooking for about 5 minutes. So now we are going to add back in those beans that we soaked. If you're using canned beans, this is the time where you add them in. And you're going to need about 5 or 6 cups of canned beans. And then I have a 12-ounce bottle of dark Mexican beer. I've used Negro Modelo. But it really doesn't have to be Mexican beer. You can make it just a dark beer. And then I have reserved a half a cup of the liquid from when I drained the beans earlier. We're going to bring this to a simmer and then let it sit for about 20 minutes. And then they'll be ready. So we're going to reduce the heat to low and let it simmer for 20 minutes, and then we'll be back. So our borracho beans were simmering on the stove for the last 20 minutes, and now they are ready. How beautiful they look. Can't wait for them to cool off so we can eat.